I am Georgina Dallas. I'm a channel account manager and I work for IONOS. IONOS has a public cloud platform called Data Center Designer. It's got a range of products within there: Compute Engine, S3, which is object storage, managed Kubernetes. We also have a private cloud solution that's powered on VMware.
My name is Alex Perez. I'm the Managing Director and one of the founding members of Telecom 2 Limited. Apex Cloud Telephony is the flagship product of Telecom 2. It addresses the needs of businesses to cover all the telephony requirements that they have to be able to be efficient and direct on the telecommunications world. ISDN, it's a point-to-point connection. You go from a box in the wall at an office to an exchange somewhere, and that's all you can actually do. Voice over IP is the evolution to ISDN. It basically means that through the internet, voice over IP, which is what we utilize to encode voice and send it somewhere else, you can have telephony, video, and anything else you require to send it down the same pipe.
Copper lines have been around since the Victorian era, and digital lines have been around since the 80s. And then this thing called the internet happened. So these copper lines and digital lines, they're no longer fit for purpose. These technologies have been coexisting for some time, so it's really messy. So it's time to shift entirely across to the VoIP world.
When you bought a PBX prior to Apex coming out, voice over IP and the internet and other features that actually brought, you were limited to the facilities and the services that you could actually get from that deployment. You bought the box, it was sitting on the wall, and it was static. The advantage of Apex Telephony, being a hosted solution, means that it's an ever-evolving. The number of features, number of services, number of elements to it never stops growing. ISDN is no longer available for purchase, and as of September 2025, it will cease to be supported. There are a lot of legacy systems that really need to be looking forward to moving away and coming up to the new technology. Apex Cloud Telephony is designed with flexibility in mind. This means that you can have a centralized office with all the workers and all the extensions in one single place across multiple floors, and multi-home to multi-sited. You can have a main office and satellites, not just in the UK, anywhere else in the world. This became very useful during the last pandemic, for example, where we had to have swathes of workers moving away from a centralized environment to working from home securely.
So speed of delivery has been a real eye-opener. So they've come in, and from capturing the brief to deploying the phones, it's kind of, in as little as 3 days or up to 10 days. And in this time where we're really running out of time to move over to ISDN, that really matters.
So from an organization perspective, it allows pretty much unlimited growth. We have IONOS to thank for that. And the reason for this is you can go from 20 extensions to 2,000 pretty much at a click of a button, basically as quickly as we can provision your hardware needs. The advantage of Apex Cloud Telephony is that it's designed with security at its heart. And one of the examples is that one of our main client lines are surgeries and other NHS organizations, which are now having to update all their old infrastructure to the new one. The government has made available funding for these practices to move away from old technology onto Apex Cloud-like. Healthcare is a very particular subject. It requires for any communication to be highly secured, to protect patient confidentiality, GDPR lines, and so on, but also requires a number of features, and it puts some systems under quite a lot of stress. GP practices, for example, are under increased demand, and they need the patients to be able to listen to information that's actually given to them and have menus that they can navigate efficiently to be able to land on the right department. This means Apex Cloud Solutions can provide a virtual receptionist where patients could be able to book appointments directly through a machine rather than having to speak with an end operator.
Telecom 2 are the poster child of IONOS's private cloud. They came on board back in 2021 and been gradually moving over more and more workloads ever since. And we are a trusted provider for their hosted telephony.
10 years ago, when we started virtualizing our machines, And we went from multiple physical locations with tens of racks of equipment, employing dozens of engineers Europe-wide. We realized that we had to minimize the amount of space, cost, and resources that we dedicated to it. So we began to do virtualization ourselves. We bought the server clusters, we deployed them at our center, at our colocation facilities, and we had engineers then working remotely, commissioning from that. Every 3 years, we had to go through the whole thing again. We came across IONOS. We began to roll out our solution slowly with them, and we realized that they were able to offer us exactly what we needed. And from that point on, we began to move away from all of the suppliers and all our other solutions into just this one environment. So we now have got multiple clusters with IONOS. They take care of all the wiring, all the cables, all the infrastructure, and we concentrate on what we're good at, which is the Apex Cloud Telephony.
So when a new customer is onboarding with Telecom 2, they log into their vSphere portal, spin up another virtual machine, a couple of clicks later, it's all done and dusted. This is a very different story to what it looked like 10 years ago.
The fact that Apex Cloud solutions are based on a cloud-hosted environment means that you can have multiple instances of that cloud environment or that telephony solution for that client running on a hot and standby scenario. So IONOS facilitates us to move one machine from one cluster to another pretty much seamlessly. There will not be any downtime. If one of the machines has to be reconfigured or repurposed, we can simply point the IP traffic onto the secondary box without drop of service. This also means that the software is constantly being worked on, is constantly being developed, it never gets obsolete, and new features get added pretty much weekly based on the client needs. Apex Cloud Telephony focuses on customer premises, but our main focus, or the main amount of resources is being developed right now or delivered for contact centers. We've got a large amount of contact centers in the UK and worldwide, which are delivering real-time solutions for a number of clients. And we go from anything from 20 seats to 2,000 seats. If anybody walks through the door requiring a private solution, we can easily do this with IONOS by simply commissioning a private cloud environment, hot and standby, so multiple solutions in this case to guarantee robustness and an unlimited amount of resources or growth in that side. So Apex Cloud and IONOS work very well on this part, and it allows us to do this exceedingly fast. During the last health crisis, that major health crisis that we had in this country, Public Health approached one of our call centers because they needed to position people not only in main England but also in Scotland, and they asked us to grow from 20 seats to 2,000 seats in a very short period of time.
I've been in the industry for the last 15 years, so the last 5 years I've been in cloud, but for the previous 10, I was in telecommunications. And in my experience, hosted telephony was such an easy solution to sell. You would purchase a corporate grade internet service for your business, and you can carve out some bandwidth exclusively for your phone system and then make huge savings off the back of that.
So ISDN is coming to an end on 2025. That may seem like a long way away. It's not. It's not. We need to begin looking into the switchover right now. There are lots of things that have to happen in order for Apex Voice solutions to be deployed efficiently. We need to gather the specs and make sure that all the requirements that the clients need are actually brought on board. That takes time. So don't delay. We need to move this, and we need to do this straight away.
IONOS private cloud powered on VMware is the underlying infrastructure that Apex's cloud telephony resides on. IONOS and Apex Cloud Telephony have great synergy. We really complement each other. We are the answer to your modern telephony needs.
I'm really proud of the relationship we currently have got with IONOS. It has helped us to establish a very strong foothold within the technological world, and I see us getting more and more involved and growing faster and faster with them.